Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode on the Mini Cooper. In the last episode I started to get rid of the old inner sill. We noticed that it was sat quite low compared to the doorstep. That's a factory 2 panels, they've never been apart until now. Found that a bit odd. That being said, it didn't take too much to get it off. Took a bit of trimming around the box section, but we're there. The inner sill, the original inner sill's off, and you can see the clamps. I've started to mock up the new one. So where I'm at the moment is I need to just final mark before cutting the new panel to sort of splice it into the car. So at the front half, so the floor pan area, I'm cutting out a lot more of the original sort of floor, if you like. That is purely because it's quite corroded. I've got rid of all the proper rot, but I might as well get rid of the surface rust if the panel will cover it, and the panel's quite good, it comes in quite far. At the back, it's obviously, we'll get sat level with that. It's just sat there as a mere sort of working out gaps. That's as far as we're going with it, and then I'll trim it here and take out what we don't need. So it won't be so much this end of it, but it will completely sort the rest of the front half of it out. So I'll bring you guys in and we'll see where we're at. I'm quite impressed with these end machine panels so far, but they have been a bit of a job to get in. So I think once it's done, it's going to look really good. So the next point of call is the main cut. So obviously where you could completely ruin a panel or cut too much and have to bridge a gap. So we'll have to just take our time with that. But I'll bring you guys in and I'll show you where I'm at, and we'll go from there. Right, so as you can see, the inner sill sort of just clamped in place with a couple of clamps. All of this will get tapped to meet it. So the panel's not sat at all flush at all along there. Obviously I've got to make a cut, so you can see the rough line I've put in it. So I'll cut that and we'll get this end fitted, and then that completely sorts this section out. This was the better side of the sill. Over this way, I still think I'm going to cut out some more of this floor pan and use as much of just fresh steel as I can. So I think I'm going to continue to go up there. The new panel comes up to about there, so we should be able to get rid of all that. I've got rid of the original jacking point there as well because it's quite corroded underneath, and I'm thinking while we're at it we might as well do it. That is something that can be added at a later date if Chris and James want it back on. Me personally, it's another rough trap. You never jack a car up from there. That's what's bent the floor. So it's gone because it's going to make it harder to weld, harder to put this panel in, and it's trapping rust. So they're my reasons for getting rid of that. Along here, it fits quite well. It obviously needs, that will all get tapped back. The flitch panel's had a repair, and quite a bad one along the bottom. So I'm actually going to have to make another piece to join along underneath this panel once we get to it. But other than that, it's a case of marking this out now and cutting that out. So I'll go away and do that off camera now, and if that goes well, we should be ready to weld. So it looks good with some fresh steel. Right, so I've brought it as tight as I possibly can. If you just nip it up there, you can see it gets tighter. I've used some Tech screws, which you saw me use in my 89 restoration. So I've put one in here, and that just pins this, it's tight. And I've got one up there, and it holds that tight. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to try a method I've not used for a little while, and I'm going to double cut. So I'm going to double cut through the old one, and then the new one will come up level. And it trims off what I don't need of the new panel, and retains a nice clean line all the way along. So now that this is tight, I can do that. So let's get cutting. Right, so there's the start of the welding. You may have been wondering on that time lapse what I was up to. basically when I put the weld on here, this panel bowed quite a lot and the heat was right back here. So all I did, get a block of wood and my hammer, and I just propped the floor back up. And as you can see, series of stitch welds. Quite happy with those welds. You can see really good tidy penetration, so I'm happy with that. Just done a bit up there and tacked it there, and I'll clean this back even more. Just wanted to get it in its rough place. Tacked here. The gap is a bit big here, unfortunately. I know in a previous episode I mentioned joggling it. I just want a really nice seamless finish, really, so I can dress this back nice and not have any areas where it doesn't look that tidy. So I'm going to crack on now, and I'll get welding and I'll bring you guys back in. Right, so that's the inner sill in. This is the biggest job really on this car. That side won't require a whole one, I don't think, but this definitely warranted it. Got really good penetration on my welds. All the welds along there, I'm really happy with how these end machine panels weld. So that is one thing to please bear in mind if you're maybe on a budget or can't decide between Magnum or end machine panels. I would definitely go end machine. The fact that I don't have that e-coating on makes it so much easier to weld. You literally just linish it back, and I literally used one of these fibre wheels, obviously clean back the car, clean back the end machine panel, just so everything was spotlessly clean as it could be. That made the whole job so much easier. The welds were good, the welds had good penetration, there was no dirt. Yeah, I don't know why I've not used end machine panels before. I mean, the 89's is a completely separate different thing really. It's had a whole heritage floor, and that weld's just as well. The steel's just that bit thicker. So that is one thing to bear in mind if you're weighing up panels. What's next for this then? I'm going to lightly linish this lot back. I'm not going to go mad because there'll be some sort of sound deadening and carpet back over it. The underside, there really isn't, you can't really feel anything because the weld's all on this side, and it's absolutely solid. This corner here, when I was putting this little sort of support section in, it's blown through at the top. So this isn't, someone's put this panel in over like another panel. So it's been done okay, but whatever steel they've used maybe wasn't the best. So it's a bit thin. So I'm going to make a little tiny piece to go in there. The flitch panel, if anyone knows, it curves under the floor. That was rotted away on this, so I'm going to have to make a section up. But luckily, because I trimmed this panel back, I got some really good end machine steel to do that with. I've also made this little piece to go in here for the floor pan. That's where the two rubber bungs were. I'm just going to weld it up. It stops that water trap altogether. So I might crack on and do that next. Got all the midges out because the weather's nicer. Yeah, I'm not going to go mad and clean this back yet because I'm actually going to crack on and get this doorstep in because I'm catching myself on this. It's ripping closed. It's cut me open a few times, and yeah, next point of call, I think I'm going to do a doorstep. But apologise for not filming too much of the footage in relation to the welding. I did do a little bit of a time lapse, but then I do a bit and walk away and do a bit and walk away because number one, you don't want heat distortion, and number two, welding for that long is just not good for you. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it's gone. I hope Chris and James are happy with it. Obviously they'll see the car. I'm really happy with how solid it is. This is the biggest job on this car, like I mentioned. So right, catch me in the next episode when I do this doorstep. I probably will do this repair section here off camera just because I can do that maybe after work or something like that. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with that. It's a good day's work. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button for this channel. There's plenty more work on this car. If you haven't already, please see our Budget Clubman, and there's maintenance work on its way. The way the world is at the moment, I know things aren't going to be easy for people, but like I've mentioned in a few of my videos, just stay positive. This has kept me positive. I've spent all day out here welding away. I've not left my house, so I've been a good boy. But just hope I don't run out of gas. So, like I said, this is the biggest job done now, so hopefully I can at least get this car done. So, right, onwards and upwards, guys. Please stay safe. Give this video a thumbs up, and I'll catch you in the next one.